One. Hey guys, this is Fight Commentary Chapter, Fight Commentary Breakdowns, Jerry, and we have Travis here. Travis, awesome dude, and he does Bajiquan, which you can
Yo,
see from his shirt. First of all, that's a really nice shirt. So tell me about the shirt. How did you get that?
thank you. Well, I trained in China for a year at an academy there, and when we left, the master said that we can choose a calligraphy of our own. So one of my friends there, another Canadian, he chose Bhaji to be his character. So when I got back to Canada, I decided I just wanted to get it as a tattoo. Well, yeah, I got it as a tattoo first. I decided we wanted to be one of those lame people, and yeah, I got it on my shirt too. Got a bunch of shirts made, so
That's awesome. So you're a
yeah.
Canadian viewer. You're a Canadian.
Oh yeah, I'm very Canadian. Yeah, even though it's
Cool.
been like 40 degrees here for the past week,
Wow.
it's been the first tolerable day. But yeah,
I see. I
yeah.
see. So, tell me about kind of growing up with martial arts. What started your journey in martial arts?
So on my journey, Jackie Chan, 100%. Like my parents, they didn't really want me to pursue martial arts, but they were the ones that brought home the Jackie Chan movie. So after that, I just begged that I wanted to get into martial arts, and eventually I got into a Taekwondo class and stuck in the back of one of those fake schools.
So tell me about that first class when you walked into the Taekwondo dojang. What did it feel like? What was the vibe like? How many people? What was the instructor like? So please.
Oh, like I walk in and I just remember the black belts lining up in front of the class, just like, oh, like look at me, look at my belts. And I'm just in the back. I can barely see them in the back because, I'm the one that's there new and I want to learn something, but they have me pushed in the back as they're, that's most schools here, right? You don't really, you just get shoved to the back and you're supposed to follow the beginners in front of you.
Yeah,
So
that's such a bad system. That is such a bad system because the people in front of you probably aren't doing it right either, right? You got to look at the quote unquote master. You got to learn from the master.
yeah, right. Yeah. But no, he was just always in his office, just chilling, waiting for his monthly fees. That was pretty much it. That's the only time I really saw him.
Wow. Did you guys have
Yeah.
sparring and all that, or was it mostly just doing like moves and forms, or with?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We had
Mm-hmm.
we had sparring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We did sparring, but it wasn't like the old school taekwondo, like that Joe Rogan does when he posts those videos. No, it was they would put like black belts versus white belts,
Ooh.
and yeah, they would do shit like that, and it was never good because usually it was the white belt knocking out the black belt.
What? Because by the time they got to a black belt, they're already like super over out of shape, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, that was most of the class.
That's hilarious. So, did the black belts make up mistakes for, not mistakes, did the black belts make up excuses for why the white belts beat them?
Oh, it's always that. It's always like, oh, I'm not going 100% or blah blah, all that BS.
Wow.
Just
Wow.
like if I ever fight DKO one day and I beat him, he's probably going to say the same excuse, like, oh, I didn't go 100% or something. It's a
Cool. And
lose situation.
dude, that's a perfect segue. We'll take a pause on your sort of journey as a kid and let's talk about DKU since you've told me that you've been trying to challenge DKU for years. So tell me about that.
Well, I actually used to look up to him. I used to watch his videos and I used to be thoroughly impressed. And once I just started learning more, I just started seeing more in his bullshit, really. It's just as simple as that. I just got more experience, and instead of just learning his system, I learned my own way. And yeah,
And has
and
he ever
I
responded to your challenges or anything like that?
no, 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 never. I message him. I mean, I just message. I mean, I don't message him all the time, and I haven't called him out publicly. It's also free. Like I don't want my. I'm just starting to get myself out there, so I don't want my account to get blocked because I don't know DKO. I don't know, was a little bitch and he cried, and I don't know, he reported me for harassment. I don't know. That's just what I see happening. So I'm trying to tread a little lightly in that regard. I'm sorry, am I allowed to curse, or is
It's
that
fine. I mean, try not to curse, but
okay,
it's
okay,
fine.
sorry,
Like,
sorry.
no, it's fine. Like, this chat's channel, I haven't even monetized it yet,
Okay.
but yeah.
I live
So
in a house of sailors,
yeah,
so
yeah. That I totally understand. Like, I curse a lot too, but I had to tone it down for to keep
yeah,
YouTube
absolutely.
PG, so to speak. But okay. So how long did you train in Taekwondo before you got out of it?
Oh, I was there for a couple years, and I was always held back
Mm.
because I didn't have the money. Like financially, I wasn't there, so I wasn't able to afford the testings. I was there skill wise, at least I thought I was. I was a kid, I don't really know, but whenever I went to the testing, it was just because I didn't have the money to pay for the belt, simple as it was. So eventually, I was a few years there, and I got to just, I think it was orange belts, and I left. So, and that's about the time I went to Moscow with my mom, and I ended up training under a Shotokan master there and a more traditional um, female Taekwondo master there.
That's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
are you Russian Canadian?
No, it's my stepdad.
Oh,
I was kind of living on the streets when I was with my real father. That's what really pushed me to go full hardcore training, even when I was small. And my mom found out that I was living on the streets and living at all my friends. So she snatched me up and took me to Moscow. And I was there for a few years, and I was able to train there also, which was, yeah,
wow, wow, dude.
yeah.
You've had
Been a,
quite a journey in life. Wow, that's great that you.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah. I've
wow.
never really shared it too. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's
So
all good.
it's, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Did you when you were, and if this is a sensitive topic, you can totally tell me
No, no,
you
no,
don't
no,
want
no,
to
no,
tell me.
no, no.
Yeah.
I'm just being real.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. It's
not being,
great. I love
it's all
the
good.
real talk. But like on the streets and stuff, did you have to like fight and stuff like that?
Actually, more so when I was in China. I mean, I got bullied a lot when I was in high school, but what martial art hasn't? I would tell you I was bullied, but I mean, that's why all of us have started martial arts. But mostly started happening when I was in China. Just a lot
So,
of the
so you were in Russia for a few years and then you went to China?
yes, yeah. Well, it was more China was just I wanted to train. I wanted to go there and see for myself. Unfortunately, I ended up training at kind of a fake academy, but I didn't see that before I went there. But throughout my stay there, like I'm not stupid, I eventually saw through it. Like the teachers would be like, "Oh, step one step, like I dare you, like you, anyone in line, step one step forward, that you cannot beat us." Like it was that kind of. And of course, we didn't because we're in the middle of the mountains in China. Like we don't know what's gonna happen. Like, is this guy gonna actually kill us with one finger? But we all had that false perspective when we were there training. But
Wow,
I
that is
had
crazy that you just like went to China, ended up on the mountain somewhere with some bullshito, man. How did that happen?
uh, I just decided one day that took all my savings. Well, actually, really, it was my mom. She's like, "Do you still want to train in China?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course," but I didn't have the funds at the time. So I did my research. Apparently, not good enough, and I ended up going to an academy there. The experience was amazing, though. I would never take it back. It wasn't the teachers I learned from; it was the students. Like there was a lot of very experienced other martial artists I trained with. I would learn from a boxer. I would learn from a giant Viking from Finland how to wrestle. Like, so it is worth it, the experience. I definitely want to take it back. But I had a lot of bullshido masters there, but I also had some legitimate ones, which were mostly the Bhaji ones.
I see. So that's kind of how you ended up in Baji. Like all that bullshito in China, and then suddenly there is a system or a few systems that seem to have its stuff together a little bit, and Baji was one of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the way you put it a little bit because that's how I see it too. And I'm trying to take all the nonsense out of it and try to apply my own way of doing it, which is add a little boxing here and there, a little bit of more head work, actual defense. Because whenever you see the MMA versus Bhaji Practitioner, it's like 2 seconds because they don't have any defense. They just think they're going to rush in there one hit and get their one strike, and that's it. But no, that boxer's just going to hook and it's game over.
Exactly. So, how long did you start doing Baji in China? So, you were in the mountains, etc. You met some cool people, including people who did Baji. Did you kind of transition to training Baji in China for a little bit? Tell me more about that.
Well, I saw videos of Baji before I went to China, like the old school black and white one. I don't know if you've seen it. It circulates. I thought that was cool. And then I seen it in video games, obviously. So I originally went there to learn Bhaji, but when I got there, they were like, you can't learn Bhaji. It's like too intermediate. So they started me in Shaolin training, which I think is absolute BS. I think they were just waiting until they had a Bhaji master that arrived. Sure enough, a Bhaji master arrives and I'm able to learn Bhaji. But that's pretty much how it went. It was about a couple months before I actually started learning Bhaji when I went there. So that's something people have to be careful of if they train in China.
And so when did you return to Canada from China?
Oh, this would have been about 6 or 7 years now. And I worked at a resort in the middle of the forest for about 5 years, and just been training and working out there, and came back here. I'm currently around the Toronto area, and that's when the pandemic broke out and everything went to so I've just been training on my own. Pre-pandemic, I was 195 pounds. Now I'm 140. Well, sorry, lie, about 145. I just decided that I'm just gonna build this thing behind me and start training, just get my ass going.
Nice. That's great.
Really,
you're in the
and there's nowhere to learn Bhaji.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's great you're in the Toronto area because
Sorry.
I've interviewed people in the Toronto area. So like I could connect you with some people. Yeah, you could potentially cross train, and these are cool people. I'll tell them, look, this is not a guy trying to challenge or dojo storm, just a guy who wants to exchange information.
No.
I know two people from the Toronto area who I could definitely connect you with. One guy's a little weird, but he's very talented martial arts wise. The other guy's the Canadian guy who got baited into a fight with Shu Xiaodong when he was a young dude. So yeah, you have potentially two training partners.
He got baited into a fight with Shu Xiaodong.
Yeah. This was in 2012. So this was Shu Xiaodong's claim to fame on social media before he ever got famous in the West, and it went viral a million times. But yeah, I'll send you the link to the video. But basically, what happened was the Chinese whoever uploaded it mistitled it and made it look like Shu Xiaodong beat up a spoiled rich Chinese person, but it wasn't. He wasn't a spoiled rich Chinese person. So the title clickbait works, man, because everyone in China hates those spoiled rich second generations. That you've heard the term "fu er dai." So everyone in China hates fu er dai. So they thought Shu Xiaodong was beating up a fu er dai.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, poor guy. So he contacted me because I just trusted the Chinese sources, and then it turns out he's not. He's like, I'm a Canadian dude, and I like had a few months of Muay Thai, and like I got beat up by Shu Xiaodong, and so that's how me and him became friends. Because I was like, wow, I feel for you. I'm gonna put the story right. So he can be one of your training partners.
Shu Xiaodong, but that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And the thing about Shu Xiaodong is that I love the guy and everything, but he needs to. I'm not saying I could beat him. I'm not saying that I probably couldn't. He'd probably take my head off in one hit, or I don't know. But he needs to fight someone like legitimate, not all these 50-year-olds big gut masters. Like they need to he needs to fight someone that actually trains for hours every day, someone that's in his weight class, somebody that has actually been in a boxing ring before. Otherwise,
yeah, it's funny because there were two promising, actually there's three promising matches, right? One was a guy, he was a Tai Chi champion who seems to have done some kickboxing, but the dude, I think that Tai Chi guy, I think his name was Fen Shuai-Xing or something, he got in trouble with the law. Like he was like working with the Chinese triads or something, so that guy's out of the question. Guys, I'm not, what I said, it might be. I need to potentially do more research, so it might not be triads or something. But there was something wrong with that guy in the law. So unfortunately, that match is out of the question. The other person that a lot of potential is this person. I featured him on my channel before, but he claims he's doing Tai Chi, but I don't see any Tai Chi in his stuff. But sometimes it's like, since Tai Chi
Really?
is usually an internal style, right? Sometimes you don't really see it. It's more
Yeah.
how he moves internally and how his fascia connect or whatever. But this guy, he's like apparently the number one Tai Chi fighter, and you see him win kickboxing matches. So this person in Shootout apparently have signed up for 2 matches, but this was like 2 years ago, so like nothing's come out of this. So I don't know why. Um,
Yeah.
so that, and of course, going back to DKU, Shootout supposed to fight DKU next month, but
Oh, Shu
it,
Shadong, take his head off.
yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's why when I checked with Xu Xiaodong last, the match got postponed, right? Xu Xiaodong was supposed to fight him, I think, in July or something like that, but the match got postponed. I mean, Xu Xiaodong said it was because of the lockdown, but I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe there's other reasons. So,
Mm.
um, yeah, I
Probably
don't
the
know if
government. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know if
Def-
the match versus DKU is going to happen next month. So yeah,
mm.
yeah, like you said, I think everyone wants him to fight more kind of if you're gonna pick on a fake person, at least like pick on someone that is in shape, right? So that way the in shape question is out of the question. That way you can like limit it to just
I
the
just
person
I
being
just want my
fake.
chance. I
Yeah.
just want my chance, but
Hmm.
I think he's genuinely afraid of being humbled by someone that doesn't have his platform, and that would take his platform away.
Hmm. Hmm.
Honestly, I think that's all it is.
Hmm.
And if it's by a business standpoint, then I respect that. I mean, the guy still needs to make his living, right? I wouldn't want to take that away from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if he wants, I would even want to do a closed door, not filmed or anything. Like,
I
it's just a
see.
matter of me wanting to test myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
but he doesn't want to test himself. He claims to be the next Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee would have challenged anyone in a freaking heartbeat. Him, he gets challenged. He just makes excuses and he uses followers almost to attack them, I feel like.
Yeah, I definitely
So
the guys from Fight Bible I think would say the same, right? I think some of DKU's followers definitely. I mean, it's the same with Master Wong and stuff like that. I think um the person who's quote unquote the leader of whatever cult, the cult of fight commentary breakdowns or the cult
yeah,
of whatever, right? Got to set a good example. And that's why I always tell people, like,
yeah,
I'm the worst fighter. I'm never going to claim I'm a master or anything like that because I don't want
yeah,
people kind of
exactly.
developing this cult mentality. Like it's not healthy, right? And it's like if
No,
someone
no, no,
challenges
no, no.
whatever a channel, let them challenge the channel. So what? It's just like, but it's like it's exactly like you say. If the followers then go and it's like, oh, you challenged my master, let's try to take you down. Oh, that's it's unhealthy.
It's like I didn't challenge you. You're probably like 250 pounds, like all muscle. No, I did not challenge you. I challenged DK.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
challenge one of his like students that are probably like a bodyguard or something. No,
yeah,
I challenged you.
yeah,
But
exactly. So besides kind of DKU, is there anything else you want to kind of do? Like, do you want to potentially get into an MMA match just to test your skills, or maybe a kickboxing match? Tell me more about that.
uh, I've thought about it, but honestly, I'd probably just join a gym, join a boxing club, or join a Muay Thai school, or I don't think I don't think I'm gonna get in the ring with Conor McGregor anytime soon. But yeah, I need a lot of training.
So I guess we could go into more specifics. Like we talked about how Bhaji probably needs more defense. It should probably need some boxing. But what are some
Hmm.
things about Bhaji that you really like that kind of attracted you to it?
I just like the power. I've always liked karate growing up because of the power, like the traditional karate, not like the Karate Kid karate, like with all the stomping and everything. And then I noticed Baji has that. Plus, it's like 100 times more. It's just a very obnoxious style, and I love it. I love being loud. I love yelling. I love stomping. I love everything about it. I can't spin. I can't do flips. I get really bad vertigo. So I just like the straightforward styles.
When you did Bhaji in China and now what is the training regimen like? Is it like warm-ups, then some forms, and then some sparring? Tell me more about the training regimen in Bhaji.
Well, the training was actually, that's one thing I have to give them credit for. Within 1 week of staying there, I couldn't walk. I physically had to lift my legs up. And I was even throwing up almost every class and just sweating through my clothes. We would have to run up the mountain almost every other day. It was very rough. A lot of running, a lot of endurance. Our teacher at the time he was about 28 years old, but he also trained military as well. So he would do all their drills as well, but he also did it on us. I remember one day, one of the students interrupting class and him just walking up to them and just punching him square in the face. Yeah, so that's what a lot of the training was like. And then the older master came, and then it ended up becoming a little more hardcore.
Was it a Chinese student or was it like a non-Chinese student that got punched in the face for interrupting class?
It was a guy from Egypt. It was this
Ooh.
silly guy. Yeah. It was there was a lot of foreigners there. There was a
Wow.
lot of us.
What is this place called, if you don't mind telling me?
It's called I do love this place and I would go back. I give him that. It's Tianmeng Academy. Tianmeng.
Oh,
They
interesting.
used to teach
Wait.
Bhaji too, but
Oh,
they
Tian.
stopped for some
Here it
reason.
is. Tian Meng Shaolin Kung Fu Academy. Wow, they have Mei Hua
Yeah.
Quan there too. Interesting. Yeah, they have Bagua Sanda.
Oh yeah, I had to learn Manghua. Yeah.
Wow.
But
Okay,
I
let's
don't
look.
also like we
Oh,
learned
this is in
Manghua and they're
Shandong.
like, we won't teach you the way. Yeah, yeah, Shandong. That's where I
Mm-hmm.
was training.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Very
Oh,
good
okay.
place. I think the
Oh.
beer capital is there
Yeah,
also,
yeah,
I
exactly.
think.
Qingdao. We're
Qingdao,
yeah, exactly.
Qingdao, Qingdao, very worth checking out.
Yeah. Interesting, dude. This is pretty cool. I'm gonna put a link to this. This is really cool. Even
It is
even
a
in the
pretty cool
picture, their
place.
picture, it's like all foreigners. I love it. It's all foreigners here.
Oh yeah, all we did was train 6 days a week, and our day off, we would just go into town and go clubbing, go partying, and then recover and then go back to training. Because we were so sore, we had to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were
Wow.
up in the mountains that we needed that social. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Until
Wow.
another Canadian came, and then that's when it really hit the fan. Sorry.
Tell me about the other Canadian coming.
Well, people were like, oh, there's another Canadian coming. I'm like, oh, we're not. Just because he's Canadian doesn't mean we're going to get along. He gets there first day, we're already drinking together. And then throughout the night, we're doing Bhaji all night. So he's the only other Canadian. He's the only other Bhaji student there. But on our days off, we would go into town together and we would just get into fights with Bhaji. That's all we would do. We would just find reasons. We would just be sitting at a table with people and they would be like, China good, Japan no. And we would be like, China yes, Japan yes. Yeah. And then they would start throwing beer bottles. They're very
Wow. So
racist
like
there
you
towards,
guys went
yeah,
into town and
it was
got
pretty
into
bad.
street fights. You guys went into town and got into street fights with locals.
It was pretty common. It was pretty common. But I wasn't really good when I went there. I went there to better myself and I ended up getting more trouble than when I was back home. But that actually taught me a lot about myself because since then I've humbled down a lot. But
I see. I'm gonna stop my video, so my audio's still gonna be there. It's just there's a little delay from your part, so I hope this makes it better. So I'm gonna stop my video, but I'm still talking, of
okay,
course.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So Let's talk more about these street fights. That's hilarious, especially, like it really depends on the region, right? Some regions the cops are really chill. It sounds like where you guys were like maybe they know there's a lot of foreigners there. They know there's a lot of people just like locals looking for trouble. So like because
Yeah.
yeah, you could get in a lot of trouble in China for that stuff. But yeah, please tell me about all these like crazy stories.
Oh, I remember there was one time when we took the bus into town, and then we there's two tuk-tuk drivers fighting. One
Uh-oh.
has a board with nails in it, one has a screwdriver, and there's just a crowd of people around them. No one's doing anything. And I just grab the board from the person's hand, and then my other Canadian friend grabs that person, and we're trying to separate them. They're it got to the point where they were trying to stab each other, and I ended up
What?
turning around and just pulling, just pushing, just ramming their tuk-tuk as hard as I could down the street, and that took off, and they started chasing after their tuk-tuk.
Wow. So they both had like some kind of whether like a cleaver or something on them or on their tuk tuk.
Yeah, one of them had no, one of them had like a piece of board with nails in it. I
Uh
guess it
huh.
was in their tuk-tuk, and one of them had literally just a screwdriver, which I guess was in their tuk-tuk too. And I guess one of them cut one of them off, so that started into a street fight.
Wow.
And
Wow.
there
And
there was
you guys went and intervened to try to stop it. That's hilarious.
yeah, because we were just watching these people watch this happen, and we just pushed through the crowd. We pushed them apart. We're just yelling at them in English. They have no idea what we're saying, and yeah, there was a lot of experiences like that.
Wow. Oh, what about like bar stuff? Like you said, people were throwing bottles at you. Like, tell me about that.
Oh yeah, the entire academy was there, and they just started hawking bottles at us, and they were just flying everywhere, and we were all getting into fight stances, and more of them kept showing up. So we're just like, screw this. We're trying to get in the taxi. They're still throwing beer bottles.
I see. So, despite having a bunch of people from the academy with you, you guys were still outnumbered.
Oh yeah, and they're just like, oh, those schools are bullshit. So they don't care. Like, they don't care why you're there. But
Wow.
most of the time though, they think you're one of the English teachers, and a lot
Hmm.
of the English teachers, they go just to get up to no good, and that's it. So they would just confuse you with one of those. So most of the time
Oh,
when they would find out you're there to do kung fu, they would chill with you or anything. But if they find out you're there just to teach English or something, they think you're there just to steal their women
yeah,
or
exactly. Which
something. So
most
that
of
never gets
the
good.
sexpats do, right? They go there to like try to score easily. Yeah, I don't blame the locals. I see now. I
Yeah,
see why they gave you
yeah,
guys issues. They thought you guys were one of them.
yeah. And none of us had very good Mandarin,
Hmm.
so we were just there to train. So we had a translator. The teacher would say 100 things, and the translator would be like, "Just do it." And I'd be like, "Okay, well that's okay. That's not what he said."
Yeah. Man. That's kind of hilarious. I mean, by the time like towards the end of your stay, did you have some local friends and stuff? Because now you guys have this bond. Oh yeah, I'm here to learn about your culture. I'm not here just to play around.
um, Honestly, all the friends I made were all the foreigners. I have one of my good friends is in Finland. I have friends in England. I have friends in the States. I have friends in France. I have a friend in Denmark. Just all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was the best experience. I would recommend anyone to go there, honestly, just to have the experience of just people.
Yeah. Yeah.
The culture
Exactly.
too, obviously, but you're gonna learn a lot from all the other cultures and all the other. Yeah.
Exactly. Wow. Um, do you still stay in touch with any of your Baji friends there?
Um, I haven't kept in contact with my the one Canadian, because something happened between us. It kind of had to do with the girl, but
Oh
don't really want to get
no.
into it.
Yeah.
But No, nothing happened
Mm-hmm.
between them, but it just caused a rift.
Of course, of
But
course, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Which actually brings up a really funny segue, which is that what is Bajiquan like? Is there good Bajiquan in Canada, or you're in the Toronto area, so maybe we should limit it to Toronto? Like, have you looked around for Bajiquan schools at all?
Yes, yes, I have. Um, and I don't know. That's one thing people ask me. They're like, "Oh, where do you train?" And it's like, "Where do you train Bhaji in Canada?" There's like no Bhaji schools, and
Mm-hmm.
all the schools here, they're all like closed door schools.
Hmm.
Yeah, I tried to reach out to one person here in Toronto, but he never responded back. So I'm just like, okay, I guess you're my competition.
Yeah, the only one I can find, I was doing a search while I asked you the question. The only one I could find was Bajiquan Canada, and they look like they're in Montreal, or as the
Yeah,
Canadian French people say,
yeah. Well, they,
Montois, Montois,
yeah.
Montois. That's what they say, Montois.
That's another thing is everybody thought I was a yeah. Everyone,
Thought you were what? Sorry.
yeah, everyone thought I was a French speaker
Oh,
over
they
there
thought
in
you were a French
China.
speaker. That's funny.
Yeah, yeah. That's just everything. Also, it's funny you say that. I don't have a percent of French in me, so your French is better than mine. That's for sure.
I just know how they pronounce it funny. I mean, apparently it's really sexy. But again, I don't speak French, so I don't know if pronouncing
Well,
Montreal the
count me
French way.
turned on. No, I'm joking.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Cool. Yeah. So
Oh,
I
cool,
think
cool.
the next thing I'll do is Will's the Canadian guy who was baited into a fight with you. I know Will's a professional Muay Thai fighter, so he has a fight coming up.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'll connect you with him after he has his fight, and then the other guy he's a karate
Absolutely.
guy, so I'll connect you with him. I think it would be really cool. Like you guys could definitely train and like have some fun cross training together.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I have an Ontario group too. Toronto's in Ontario, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
it
so
is.
let me actually add you to it now. Yeah,
I
at
think
least at least I
DKU
did.
is actually in Toronto.
Yeah. Oh, also, you know what? Let's talk more about DKU. He was born in Canada, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I heard he was in Toronto. I think he's just right near me, which is the
Wow,
funny thing.
that's hilarious. Oh yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah,
My
so
Ontario group actually has a few more people that I thought about. So yeah, I'm gonna introduce you right now. I'll just introduce you. Our man Travis. Travis. You know, it's funny because I interviewed another viewer with a last name similar to yours, also known as Travis. I was
oh
like, whoa,
really?
yeah, it's really funny. I was like, wait a
Whoa,
minute. Yeah, I'll send you his account, but
that's crazy.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Is in the Toronto area. Cool. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So I'll connect you with some people in the future. You can reach out to them too, like separately, but it's probably better if
Yeah,
I
that
connect
sounds
you guys.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds fantastic. Well, I hope I didn't bore you or
No, this was
anything,
great.
or
This was
hope it
fun.
didn't drag on.
I think
Yeah, I
I
had
think the
fun. I had
funnest
fun.
part,
I
bro,
had
the
fun.
funnest part of this conversation was hearing about the local stories. I love to see kind of the various ways that the locals
Yeah.
respond because back in the day when they first started bringing a lot of Westerners, a lot of times there weren't even Westerners. They were like Russians or Belarusians, like who barely spoke a word of English, but they just looked the part, right? And they would
Yeah.
like teach English to the locals. And like I think as China, the information and also China gets more nationalistic. So it's not just they know of these like sexpat scammers, but they also like know their English and they also are like, nah, you guys aren't anything. China's the best. Like the attitudes have been changing, and it's funny that you experienced some of that. Like they treated you better once they realized you weren't there to teach English, but like it's like the teach English
Oh
people
yeah.
are the bottom of the barrel in China. Everyone knows that now.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the way it is.
Did you guys ever have to like have conflict with the English teachers there, or did the English teachers try to stay out of your way?
I never had any problem with them, to be honest, because I mean there wasn't any if for us there wasn't any culture difference
Mm-hmm.
really. So yeah, I never had any problem with them. We actually had some of the English teachers come and train with us,
Yeah.
and It's not all of them. I don't want to say it's all of them. I've met some genuine people
Mm-hmm.
there. I remember I was sitting at a bar once. No one spoke English in the bar. Not the barkeeper didn't. The barkeeper's wife didn't. It was just across my hotel in Ligny.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy comes in, and he's not Chinese, and he just starts speaking like perfect Mandarin. And I'm just like, holy crap. And he just asked me why I'm here and everything. He says he's an English teacher. He says, you're at this is like a syndicate part, right? This is like where like the triad and everything, and those people hang out. And then there's a guy beside me that's passed out, and apparently I owe him all of his drinks, so I had to sneak out the back. That was a whole other thing. Yeah, learn your Mandarin if you go to train in China, people.
Yeah, that's
You
so
don't want to get
important.
into any of the. Oh, it really is. There's so many times I went out by myself, didn't speak a word of Mandarin, and it most of the time I was getting lost, or I couldn't get into conversation with anyone. That was awful. I couldn't even find a loaf of bread.
Wow. Wow. Dude, you should do you have a YouTube channel, by the way? You should like start a channel, just like talk about your stories. Like write all these stories down and just start sharing them. It'd be kind of cool.
Really, I never thought about doing. This is the first time I've anything that's being recorded to put online. Instagram is the first thing ever, and I'm not speaking on that because I have kind of a facial Tourette's a little bit, so that's what makes me nervous, is that it's gonna, if I'm doing a video, if it's gonna get really bad. But,
Well,
that's
one thing I learned is that people are gonna notice random stuff about you, so might as well just own up to it. Again, it's
just be real.
that's a hard ask, right? Because none of us want to live in a world where like constantly we're reminded of our insecurities. But yeah, so
Yeah.
again, that's more just encouraging you, but totally no, don't get into this like put yourself out there face talking and everything unless you really make the emotional preparation, because sometimes you're like, oh, the anonymity was cooler.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And you're definitely inspiring me to do something,
Yeah.
because I'm, even throughout this conversation, I'm feeling more and more comfortable. So
Yeah, and for viewers, before Travis and I started recording, I told them sometimes the people that are the most nervous are the best because they're self-aware. That's already better than other people. It's the same as in martial arts. Most of the people who challenge Shu Xiaodong or whatever are the non-self-aware people. That's why they're so bad. It's the same with putting yourself on camera. The people that usually think they can't do it are the best because they at least are self-aware enough to kind of improve.
yeah, that's a very good way of putting it. And when I was training, that's when I got the message. I was doing one of my videos, then I checked my phone, I look down, and I see a message from you, and it's like, want to do a video. I put my phone down, and I go inside, I freak out for about, that's what I was doing inside. I was freaking out for a bit. I wake up people, and I'm like, holy crap. I I have an interview with one of my favorite YouTubers. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, yeah, I was freaking out. So, but I'm like, I just got to do it. I just got to suck it up. Otherwise, like, how else is Bhaji gonna get out there?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
exactly.
be a coward like any other master out there.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I think, because Will, the Canadian guy who I'll connect you with, the guy who is a professional Muay Thai fighter, he's been inspired to start creating more stuff. So maybe you and him can do a series, and maybe you can start out by being a guest on his channel. Maybe you guys light spar, you do your Baji and Kung Fu, and he does his Muay Thai. That could be a little like a middle ground for you to slowly kind of get out there. So
That'd be amazing.
yeah, I think we're gonna make that happen.
Oh, I definitely want your friend to kick my butt. Can't
He's a
remember
good
last
dude.
time I
So you
fought
guys will
someone
have
in
good
Muay
technical
Thai.
sparring. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys will
yeah,
have
yeah,
good
yeah.
technical sparring, because anyone, like for me, like I had the same, like I had people go too hard on me when I was starting out. Like, he had the ultimate go too hard on him, right? Shushao don't want too hard on him starting out, so he understands what it
Oh,
means to like
yeah,
not
yeah,
have a
yeah.
respectful opponent.
And to spar someone that's fought Shu Dong, that's, I mean, an honor in my opinion.
Hmm.
Because I mean, you can't hate on Chu Shao. You can't hate him. I mean, the guy's he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's kicking butt and he's doing his thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any traditional master hates him for that, they probably can't fight.
Exactly. Cool, man. I think this is a really good stopping point. So, viewers, this was Travis.
Right. Yeah.
And I will put your Instagram. I'll put your Instagram in the pinned comments so people can find you. So that way.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been an honor.
Yeah. The Bhaji Fist. Very, very easy to remember Instagram account. So I'll put it in the pinned comments so people can. And dude, you have more than 1,000 followers, which is awesome. So, you know,
took a lot to get there.
Oh, you're also, you know, Will's already followed you. Ah, look at that.
Really?
Yeah, Will's already followed you. Ah, look at that. You
all
see?
Right, I'm gonna look. All right, he sneaked in there. All right.
Yeah, he's Snake Charmer. He's Snake Charmer. That's the guy. That's the guy. So already.
Okay.
Yeah, this is gonna happen, man. We're gonna see you on his channel, or you two record something, and I'll put it on my channel.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds wow. I'm honored, honestly.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
I never thought that I would.
Yeah, we see some of your. Sorry, there's like a delay for viewers wondering. We're not. Travis and I are not interrupting each other. There's a delay in this call. That's why it seems like we're interrupting each other, but it's actually his stuff is reaching me in a delay, and my stuff's reaching him in a delay. That's why we're always kind of interrupting each other, even though we're not really interrupting each other.
All right.
Cool. So for viewers, I'm gonna cut the call now, and then Travis and I will keep talking.
All right. Cool.